Good morning, all. Good morning, chairpersons. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers of AMOX 2020 for giving me an opportunity to be here. And I'm going to talk to you regarding medical management of endometriosis. I'm going to place my talk. We'll start with a few things about endometriosis, then the treatment options and guidelines. Then I'm going to spend a few more time on Dynogest, which is the newest entrant in the management of endometriosis, the clinical evidence and safety profile of Dynogest, and then we will summarize at the end. As you know, endometriosis is defined as the presence of endometrial-like tissue outside the uterus, which induces chronic inflammatory reaction. It starts after puberty, it peaks around 40 years of age and declines after menopause. It is a very chronic, painful condition which negatively affects the quality of life. About 5 to 10% of women of reproductive age group are affected by endometriosis, and about 30 to 50% of these women are infertile. What is the prevalence of endometriosis in India? About 26 million women of reproductive age group are affected with endometriosis in India. The most common sites of involvement are ovaries in 55% of them, anterior cul-de-sac 35%, posterior cul-de-sac in 35%, and uterosacral ligaments in about 28% of the cases. The risk factors which are associated with endometriosis is high estrogen exposure, early menarche, late menopause, nulliparity, and shorter lactation intervals are all risk factors for endometriosis. There is a genetic predisposition. First degree relative of endometriosis is likely to have endometriosis more, Mullerian anomalies and white race compared to the black race. High risk of retrograde menstruation, whereas there is prolonged menstruation or shorter menstrual cycles. Now, if you want to understand the medical management of endometriosis, we should be aware or we should know something about the pathogenesis of endometriosis. There are various theories which have been put forth, like retrograde menstruation, coelomic metaplasia, metastasis, stem cells. So all in all, the etiology is complex and multifactorial. The most accepted theory of that is the retrograde menstruation, or the Sampson's theory, in which the endometrial tissue which is present in the menstrual fluid is deposited in the peritoneal cavity, and these menstrual debris, which are eutopic menstrual cells, undergo an abnormal cell-enhanced survival and leads to adhesion to the peritoneal surface. There they proliferate, and then there is angiogenesis, which leads to formation of the endometrial implants, which then secrete excess of estrogen, prostaglandin production and progesterone resistance, which leads to increase in estradiol, increase in inflammation and decreased progesterone, ultimately leading to endometriosis. In nutshell, there is an increased inflammatory response within the endometrial tissue, altered immunological responses from the patient, there is increased angiogenesis and decreased apoptosis. Now these form the basis of all the medical management which is, we are going to do in treating the patient. Why should we treat endometriosis? We should treat it because it's a chronic, painful and debilitating condition which affects quality of life. 38% of reduction in work productivity, there is reduced number of work hours, 30% do not continue employment. 50% of them find to be having infertility, 87% of them have anxiety, and almost 88% of them have depression. Now, that's the reason why we should treat endometriosis. Now, what are the treatment options and guidelines? Well, the goal of management of endometriosis is to relieve her of the pain, then to slow the growth of the endometriotic tissue, to improve the fertility and prevent the disease recurrence. Now the options which are available for treatment of endometriosis are surgical and medical. I am going to restrict myself on the medical management of endometriosis. And what are the advantages of medical management? It's an empiric treatment. It effectively relieves pain. It is option for definitive treatment. It decreases the initial cost. It avoids risk of damaging the pelvic organs during the surgery. It avoids risk of adhesion formation and treats also the non-visible implants. But there are some disadvantages as well. It's unlikely to improve fertility. There are adverse effects common. High recurrences after discontinuation, no effect on existing adhesions, no effect on endometriomas as such, and it prevents pregnancy during the course of the treatment. What are the current medical treatment options available? There are non-specific therapies and specific therapies. The non-specific are the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and the combined oral contraceptive pills. The specific therapies which are available are gonadotropin releasing hormone analogs, antagonists as well, and progestins. However, challenges exist with all of these. When we talk about medical management, as it's a chronic disease, we should not only consider the efficacy of the treatment, but also the long-term safety and tolerability of the treatment options. What are the different medical treatments available? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, that's the first line of treatment. It blocks the COX enzyme, crucial for the inflammatory response within the endometrial tissue. COX-1 and COX-2 both can be used, but COX-2 are more effective because the COX-2 production is more than the COX-1 production within the endometrial tissue. However, it has got potential adverse effects like gastritis and renal affection with prolonged use. Next is combined oral contraceptive pills, 6 to 12 months, but has got irregular bleeding. Danazol we don't use anymore. Generis anaerocus, we can use it for 6 months, but it has got again side effects. Progestins are the treatment varies the duration. Treatment outcomes are similar to combined oral contraceptive pills. LNG IUS, it is also equally effective because it has got induces atrophy of the endometrium. There is hypomenorrhea, reduces retrograde menstruation, anti-inflammatory, and it has got immunomodulatory functions, and therefore it offers a great option for those who do not desire of fertility. I'm going to talk more about the progestins. What is the mechanism of action? There is increased matrix metalloproteinase, growth factors, inflammatory reactions within the endometriotic implant, which leads to progression, and progestins have got a blocking effect on all this, just thus reducing the progression and the symptoms. Well, most of these progestins have got actions only in high doses. So there was a need for a newer therapy which has efficacious, safety and convenience. Dynogest is the molecule which has been introduced lately. It is in 4th generation progestin and is orally active. It is as I said, 4th generation of all the 3 generations. Now what are the difference between these 4 generations? The first one which was introduced had a progesterogenic action but also had high androgenic action. The second one increased in its progesterone effect but also increased in the androgenicity. The third one, even more potent progesterone but less of androgenicity. Fourth one, which is Dynogest, has got no androgenicity. It inhibits ovulation, follicle development, growth of endometrial cells and cytokine production. So 4th generation progestins are Dynogest and drospirenone. It blocks angiogenesis and inhibits neovascularization. There is no decrease in the bone mass density. No androgenic effects such as acne, hirsutism, obesity, increased libido and virilism. It has got central effects. It inhibits the gonadotropin secretion and has got local effects. It is anti-proliferative, anti-inflammatory and anti-angiogenic. It binds to the progesterone receptor. It decreases the gonadotropin secretion. Thus, it is hyperprogesterogenic and hypoestrogenic environment and causes decidualization and atrophy of the ectopic endometrium. One tablet taken orally every day without a break. It can be started on any day of the menstrual cycle. Must be taken continuously without regard to vaginal bleeding. Contraindications are during pregnancy and lactation. 2 minutes more, please. Known suspected pregnancy and lactation, active venous thromboembolism and diabetes mellitus, cardiac disease a contraindication, hepatic disease a contraindication, and any ocular lesion arising from ophthalmic vascular disease, migraine and hypersensitivity to the drug. Overdose. Clinical trials have shown that even 20 to 30 milligrams of Dynogest per day can be used safely and is well tolerated by the patients. There is no specific antidote. What is the clinical evidence? When we talk about any drug, there are 3 things which we need. One is efficacy, the safety and comparison to some other drug which is currently used. Efficacy of Dynogest versus placebo. 12-week study. This study showed that the VAS score was significantly lower in Dynogest as compared to placebo at the end of 12 weeks. There was a reduction in 12.3 millimeters of VAS score. The secondary endpoint, BNB scale, also showed that Dynogest has got reduction in the pelvic pain, dysmenorrhea and dyspareunia. So the conclusion was Dynogest at a dose of 2 milligrams for daily for 12 weeks was significantly more effective than placebo for reducing endometriosis associated pain. Reduced pelvic pain. Now the same study was continued for longer time till 53 weeks and they showed that the VAS score even reduced further to about 43.2 millimeters. Therefore a significant decrease in the pain factor for endometriosis related. Even BNB score showed that there was a significant patients who went into amenorrhea at the end of 53 weeks. Safety, there was no change in body weight, the lab parameters did not change significantly and most common side effects were very minimal. So the conclusion was long-term Dynogest treatment induces sustained reduction in EAPP with favorable safety and tolerability. Comparison study, there was a study which was published, Dynogest versus Lupride 3.75, a 24-week study again showed Dynogest was non-inferior to intramuscular Lupride in reducing pelvic pain from baseline. 97 to 96% of patients experienced improvement in pelvic pain. Safety endpoints, you can see here the vaginal dryness and hot flushes were
Sorry sir to interrupt you, but you have to summarize.
Significantly lower in patients with Dynogest. The bone mass density was not reduced with Dynogest, so its safety was proven. Okay, newer therapies under development, just one slide. Anti-angiogenic factors like endostatin, Anginex and cabergoline, statins like atorvastatin, simvastatin, mevastatin, TNF alpha blockers and PPAR gamma. These are all under trials and not yet available for commercial use. Medical management of infertility associated endometriosis, there is no role of medical management if the patient is desirous of fertility. So to summarize, thank you so much. I will take this opportunity to ask you to come down to Pune on in July 24th, 25th and 26th, where we are organizing the international conference on just tumors, wherein we are going to cover all tumors in gynecology, benign as well as malignant. Thank you so much.